Hello, my dear friends. Again, it's always a great pleasure to come and spend some time with you. You know, where the years are clicking on here with you guys. And, you know, if you're watching your personal lives, I think you're going to find a lot of growth going on, a lot of tests. These tests are always put on by the master and, you know, the Ecker spirit, whatever you want to call the driving force. But there's a lot of negativity out there in the world right now. The negative forces at this low level is real strong. And you have to be real strong not to fall into that. This is why I'm always preaching about getting out of your mind and getting into the desireless state where you're a little more detached about the things you have and the things you think you own and things like this. But it's all just using. You're just here for a short time using the things of this planet and then off. And really, this is just like a blink of an eye in your journey. So it's difficult in all this, and everything we're doing together is incredible work. You all have to understand how important it is to help uplift a whole planet, which then in turn helps to uplift dimensions, because this isn't just the physical world that's involved in your growth. You're involved in the mental worlds and the emotional worlds. So all these worlds are going to go through changes as you grow and as everyone grows. But you're always going to have the negative forces biting at your heels. Negative forces give you gossip, backbiting, thought. Thought in itself is the pure negative force in action. But negative doesn't always mean bad. But there are those forces that you definitely could put bad on there because they're hurtful to many people. And I know there's a lot of you working together to help put this out. And Marco, you're one of them, and you've done such a great job. I was disappointed to hear you're stepping back from that. MoveYourLimp.org and things like that, .com. Marco, you're a driving force here, and I think that, you know, you're being bit by some negative forces, and you have to stand strong with those. It's going to create, you know, because it's just the nature of the beast here. When you try to put out love and health and healing, you're going to get it right back. And it's just, you have to realize that the people doing it is unconscious. And that's the part of detachment. You can't care. You have to be the force. And you have to be that driving force because you're that consciousness piece of God. And so you're getting what you need for your journey through that channel, which you're hooked right into God. I mean, you're part of that. Remember, you're a piece of that shattered mirror. You take a huge mirror and break it. All those little pieces, that's creation. Whether it's flowers, trees, monkeys, humans, whatever. But we're all part of the whole mirror. And everybody, when you realize that, then you don't have to tear anybody else down because there's no reason to. You have what you need. And when you have what you need, you're whole. You need nothing from no one. And that's where you need to get if you want to survive the future here. The future is going to be a lot more negative, guys. This is, you ain't seen nothing yet. And if you look at all the Nostradamus, the Bible, I mean, these type of futuristic concepts and ideas have come about for generations. The Hopi elders, I was telling you about the Hopi, and the Sioux elders the same way, all came out and said the same thing. So when you have the Native American elders, very aware people, coming out at the same time, you have Nostradamus, you have biblically, you have all these other forces, you know that we're in for changes. But that's the nature of life here, and that part of you, which is reality, it doesn't matter what happens, because you can't be destroyed. You can't destroy yourself, and you can't destroy God. You can destroy your bodies, but you can't run and hide. There's nowhere you can hide from yourself, ever, anywhere. And that includes losing your human body. you're still not going to lose yourself. And if you want to know what that's like, have fun playing with out-of-body experiences. They're fun and very exciting and very growth-oriented. But we want to make sure we get along, all of us, because all of you are vital. Marco has spent a lot of money and done a lot of his own work, and we're all vital to this, helping this world change. Don't let anybody stop you. Marco, you too. Don't let anybody stop you. Get your power. Y'all get your power because we have work to do together. When you're uplifting worlds upon worlds, and that's what you guys are involved with helping us do, it's a big deal. And you're going to be challenged and tested all the time. And if you want to maintain this high level of consciousness, you have to be able to maintain it. And you're going to be, like I said, tested all the time. This is universal. And you're going to be tested and retested because you must be able to maintain it if you want to become the conscious dreamer of your own universe, or your universe will fall apart. So you must gain control. And the only way to gain control of the mind is through you, consciousness. The mind is just a body you're using. The awareness of mind is you, but the thoughts and just the way the mind uses time, matter, energy, space, that's not you. So it's just watch yourselves. You got a lot of negativity. You got negativity in the healing arts like crazy. No one is together in their thinking, and it's vital that we get together in our thinking. I don't really care what people try out there and what they do. I've just had a lot of years in detoxifying and rebuilding humans and animals, and we do really good at it. And it's simple, and it's easy to teach every one of you how to do it because it's very simple. Complexity does not enter the picture. Complexity takes you away from health. Simplicity brings you into health. Notice that? Simplicity brings you into God. Complexity takes you into creation. And just depends where you want to play. Creation is an ongoing thing forever and full of fear, full of uncertainty. You have duality. You have good, the bad, and the ugly. You don't in consciousness because it's all one. There is no changing like that. There is no thoughts like that. It's just pure awareness, pure beingness. The only way you're going to find that is stop thinking, as I've said. But we all need to make sure we get along. You're always going to have someone that doesn't like something, or someone that doesn't like someone, or something like that. But Marco and you guys, when you have a team and you're working on these projects, be very careful. You're going to be attacked on all levels. I'm just telling you, the reality here is this planet there's more going on this planet than the average Homo sapien could even begin to imagine. You have walk-ins, you have travelers. The average person is scared of their own shadow, and the governments are responsible. No one is ever telling anybody the truth. People have traveled this planet and visited this planet way back. Go back to the Egyptians and the caves. You've had travelers to this region for eons. This universe is full, and you've got more. The dance, the drama, the dance of creation is major, and infiltrates every frequency that you can imagine. Look, just on this planet, the frequencies are full. Very few frequencies hardly left. We can sit there and on a cell phone pick it up, but what you don't realize is all these frequencies are moving through your beingness. And sometimes when there's too many frequencies, there's too much confusion. So you have to be careful. That's why when you have too much electricity, you have to be careful with that. Anyway, I just wanted you guys to realize we've got some good people. Marco's a good person. You'll never change my mind on that. Marco's a good dude. And a lot of you guys are great people and put a lot of time and effort in it. And I'll tell you who appreciates that. Not just the spiritual beings that we work with here, but the big guy itself. You got to understand, you're being instrumental in helping the world. You're always going to have the dogs biting at your heels. You got to learn how to take care of those biting dogs. because this is your world. And if you back down, then they won. And you don't want to back down when you know you're right and your heart is right. And you want to keep your hearts right, because this is your journey. And your journey can be full of fun, laughter, joy, happiness, no pain, no suffering. You can have all of this. Or you can play the standard old soap opera games that are going on this planet every day, days of our lives, constantly going on, backbiting and gossiping and all this about others, and, you know, just real artificial stuff. This is a book I've had in many years. Looks like she's rewritten it. We'll have it available for you. This is a black salve book. These are the cancer salves. It's the only book of its kind that I've seen. Ingrid, and she did a good job, I think, on this new one, revamping it a little bit. But if you want it, this is how to use black salves. It's a good book about cancer salves. All right. Yeah, let me see. I missed this part of the email. Let me go over this because I think I mentioned something, and there's a pretty picture here. I think we ought to take a look at this. I don't know what we're looking at yet. A dad and a son or daughter. Like a daughter. What's going on here? Oh, I remember the case. We talked about that. Let's see. Hello, I'm a 30-year-old male with ALS from Ontario with a 5-year-old daughter. This is why I preach real hard. And you younger guys, especially John, you 15-year-olds, all you young guys, this is why it's so important. You're up against hell, Bill. And why it's so important that you learn with all the skin conditions. This is just the tip of the iceberg, guys. Why it's so important that you take care of your world now. This is a 30-year-old with ALS and has a baby, basically. And it's just not a fun world. And so you can end your karma here and redo your journey if you have the mindset. But it isn't just a physical redo. You have to understand this. And we're talking a little spiritual here. There is several levels to yourself. You know, we've talked about that. There's an emotional level to yourself. There's a mental level to yourself. And then, of course, there's the reality of you and what that means, the awareness that is you. And you, if you want a greater expression of the you, you're going to have to work through some cleaning of these three bodies, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. And they all do it together, because a lot of you already know you've been through emotional detoxes. Those of you who have a lot of pain, because the adrenals are down. So those that have anxieties and things, those are the emotions, and you're going to go through emotional detoxes. And this is how you win. This is how you graduate, if you want to use that word, and get yourself out of these lower dungeons. So this is a 30-year-old ALS from Canada, Ontario, with a 5-year-old daughter. This is a follow-up message because I didn't think I gave you enough info about my current condition. Thank you so much for doing your videos. Oh, you're welcome, man. And a 30-year-old with a 5-year-old, and you don't think I care that I wouldn't do a video for you? I would also like to add that I have been consuming watermelon, honeydew, melon. Good man. My juicer and blender frozen melon and berries for a few weeks now. I also consume extra virgin coconut oil. Good job. I grew up on a dairy. I grew up on a dairy farm, but didn't like on it. I don't live on it anymore. Yeah. Oh my God. I always drank raw, unpasteurized cow's milk my whole life and barely ever had health issues. I know, but even that, my friend, even the milks. And I get this up on, we're just now doing the polishing of this chart for you, but this, I had Jen put me up the contents of mother's milk. The only milk we could really find, chemically wise, was baboon milk. And then, of course, then we found the almond milk and all this. And so just wanted to show you the considerable difference between cow's milk and human's milk. It's like night and day. There's no really minerals or things in milks too much, nutritional wise. But the protein and fat content of cow's milk is obvious, and particularly the protein content of cow's milk is way the hell up there. But you got to understand, you have a herbivorous species that its growth and weight gain is extremely greater than ours. So in a year, you've got what, about an 800-pound calf or something, 600-pound or something. You've got a lot of weight compared to ours. I can't remember. It's been years since I've been on the farm. Thank God. Well, I love farming, but I don't, when you farm with animals, it's another, another breed. Cattle, not so bad, but hogs. Oh, I'll say that I really can't deal with hog farming. I always drank this raw milk. My parents have a goat and seem to be really convinced I should be consuming a lot of raw goat's milk. I'm going to tell you, after age 2, remember this, after age 2, you lose the enzyme lactase to digest milk. So your body can't even digest it, even in its raw state. If you think you got to have milk that bad, go find a monkey. But don't find a cow or a goat. Now, a goat a little more omnivorish, maybe a little closer. But I think we even have goat's milk up there, but we will. And just show you the differences between these milks. But why do people feel like they need to still suck on the teat after they're weaned? I mean, this is ridiculous. There was a movie, it was a funny one, I can't remember who was in it, probably Sandler or something, but anyway, this little, looked like he was about an 8-year-old, and here's a mom sitting there at a big high sorority party, and here's the 8-year-old comes up and gets a drink of milk from the mother and then takes off, and it's like, what? I mean, I can see the humorous in that, but the same thing is there is a lot of people drinking milk way beyond it should be. The medical doctors, I used to think it was 3 years. The medical doctors claim 2. I'll go with them on this one because the sooner you can get off the milks, the better off you'll be. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You don't want to stay on that nipple long or any other thing like that. And cow's milk and goat's milk, no way. Jensen wrote the book on goat's milk. And if there's anybody that should have lived long drinking goat's milk, it was Dr. Jensen, because he had a lot of goats, and he drank goat's milk every morning. And their health was horrible. Him and Marie both were horrible. I had to get Marie off of goat's milk, and she'd sneak it all the time. She recently passed, so both of them are gone now. But why do we feel like we have to have milk? And if you have ALS, I wouldn't even dream of going to any dairy products whatsoever. You want to really get to your lymph system, my friend. You got a 5-year-old girl here, and you got a neurological problem that's not fun. And you want to get out of this one. And if you want to clog yourself up with mucus again, if you got brain lesions and things, it's impossible to get out drinking milk. Also, raw eggs to try and rebuild the myelin. No, not going to do it. Fruit does. Eggs don't rebuild the myelin. Matter of fact, you need neurotransmitters to rebuild the myelin. That's why you have to get in the adrenals to increase your neurotransmitter production. You need neurotransmitters, not nutrition so much. And that's the problem. As you can see your myelin sheaths decay when your neurotransmitters decay. So it's all about that. And of course, what decays cells at all outside of anything like that would be acidosis. Well, you're talking about acid-forming foods. Now, raw milk's not so much, but you still, these type of proteins are mucus-forming, are lymphatically compromising, and I don't care what. You put anybody out there that has a tumor, give them raw goat's milk. Watch the tumor. It'll grow right in front of you. You don't play with milks when you've got tumors and things. That even colostrum. No one takes colostrum with cancer or tumors, and that's what they tout it for. It's an immune enhancer. What are you going to do enhancing your immune system? Most people have adequate immune cells, and they go up and down. It's the highway that's blocked. I also would like to add, after my child's mother and I broke up, I got ALS symptoms within 2 months. Yeah, but you know why, don't you? I mean, understand what gland, believe it or not, even though it's far away from the CNS, what glands are involved in ALS, Lou Gehrig's, and MS, and Parkinson's. Which gland is always, 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 always there and involved? That's it. The adrenal glands are always, always, always involved in every single case. And that's where you lose your myelin sheath, right there. And you see it every time. So when you see the ring starting to appear and you see the connection to the adrenal glands, this is the autonomic. But you understand that that controls the kidneys, which controls the lymph system. And of course, as the lymph system backs up in the head, you can get brain lesions from that. The cerebellum, you know, that sort of thing with the equilibrium, dizzy, drop foots, blah, 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 blah. You want to get out of this kind of thinking, my friend, and go 100% fruits, berries, and melons. Period. End of story. No vegetables, nothing else. Now you'll rebuild your myelin sheath. Now you'll get the brain lesions out if you've got them. But you've got to drain your head, your sinuses. You've got to clean up on your bowels. You got to, in other words, you're approaching health holistically. You're not treating symptoms because you can't get anywhere doing that. You can't rebuild the human body treating symptoms. Our gig is rebuilding the human body. And so first order of business in rebuilding the human body is cleaning it out. If I'm going to rebuild a car motor, I got to clean the motor out. I got to get the shellac off of there. I got to get all that tarnish and stuff. You've got to get all that off. Same thing in the human body. All these chemical residues from years of burning chemistry, and adding to that the wrong kind of chemistry, causing the blowback of breaking down kidneys and GI tracts and everything else in the body, of course. So now you've got to rebuild. So this is why this whole process of detoxification and all this, because you must clean. Cleaning means you're removing the obstructions to the flow of energy in the human body. Whether it's brain, nerve, or lymph, the three major forces that drive cells. And the nervous system, of course, are made of cells. The vascular walls, the lymphatic walls, vessel walls, these are all cells. Cells and two fluids. If you want, break everything down to the final, what's the final analysis of the human body? Cells and fluids. And all interactive, 100%, from chemistry. This one medical doctor I talked to the other day, this oncologist, was saying something like, well, you guys believe in pH and stuff like that. You cannot not believe in chemistry. If you're a physician of any level, you must understand, number one, that you live and breathe in the world of chemistry, and you have to apply the acid-base scenario to everything in your thinking processes. You have to apply that. Okay. So that's what's important to look at that and understand that. I have now gone from 210 pounds to 150 pounds. Sounds like you're probably a little malabsorbed, my friend, but that's better anyway. I have had severe muscle wasting in my hands and arms, and I can barely move my right. I want to go back when you said that about your wife. When you leave someone or you have a breakup, what gland gets ripped? Your adrenal glands. And this is what I was trying to lead into. My mind kind of takes off in different ways, but that's exactly what I'm talking about. You took an adrenal dump, an emotional, tough time for you, and it was just enough to send you over the edge because you already were weak in that area. When it's one or two things take you over the edge emotionally, you know you're of a weakness in that area. The wasting, of course, is always from acidosis. Acidosis destroys cells, wastes you away, but I'll have to say that you probably are dealing with malabsorption. And now you're off of all the artificial weight gainers. You're going to see reality for what it is. Because when you start eating raw foods, you all know you're eating the highest nutritional foods and the highest electrical foods magnetically on the planet. So why would you go backwards? You don't go backwards. You have first getting a good view of who you really are. That's the illusion. You got to get used to the word illusion because there's a lot of them. And the illusion is looking at a pretty person walking down, nice body, good skin, everything like that. Peel the skin back. Underneath might not be too pretty. You might have tumors, cancers, rattlesnakes, and everything else in there. So that's what I'm saying. You just never know internally how a person is. They can look beautiful on the outside and be ravished on the inside. Remember the old scenario, hold Coke in your mouth for a year or two? You couldn't hold Coke in your mouth for 5 minutes without trying to get rid of it. Imagine holding these acids from your cells, same pH, same type of phosphoric carbonic acids, holding these acids interstitially, you got uric acid, you got all kinds of acids, boracic acid, you got all kinds of acids. Even the Krebs cycles, all these chains disappear to acids. Of course, we take acids like the Linus Pauling guy. Oh, here's ascorbic acid. Now, keep in mind the flavonoid complexes are the key. Vitamin C is just a small constituent of that, but it is ascorbic acid. And medical doctors have this passion with acids. Well, everybody's taking vitamin C, right? It's also antagonistic to calcium. So you're taking your vitamin C, but you're losing your calcium. So you could supplement with calcium. Now you're taking an acid. Now you're taking a base. Now they neutralize it. You see what I'm saying? This game that's going on out there is going on unconsciously. Our scientific community is I don't know what's wrong with it. It's taken money. I guess people don't have jobs, and it must be a fun job to be a researcher and make good money. And now that that's what you do. But we have all the information we need to get well. We don't need years and years of pharmaceutical studies or anything else anymore. We don't need any of that anymore. There's nothing new on the horizon. We know everything we need to know currently. And you just have to come back. We have to step back a little bit and start bringing balance into this world. And that balance is love and joy and happiness. Because now it's going so fast the other way. You have to be one of the strong ones, not to be sucked in the negative forces. And pain and unhealthiness can suck you in. That's why you have to be strong and get beyond your body and control that a little bit until you can get these acids out and get your body restored back to a healthy, normal body. You stop this wasting of muscles and the wasting when you do what? You remove the acids out of the human body. Well, to do that, you got to go to where this guy's problem is, right? Right into the kidney and adrenals and start getting your kidneys to filter. As you start doing that, you start hydrating with base balanced foods, which is alkaline foods, which is fruits, berries, and melons. Now you've got electricity, the highest nature offers in foods. And of course, that's neural right there. And then you've got the nutritional side of that, which is some of the top nutritions, especially for the Homo sapien. So you've got everything right there you need. So it just takes a while. The body's going to go through different changes, up and down, skinny, put on weight, all kinds of changes. Your emotions are going to go up and down because you're right into your emotional karma. And the whole idea is to make you stronger when you're spit out of this. And that's just what you have to realize, that all these experiences you're going through is designed for your strength. And so be strong. Make it through these things. You could do it. And you got a lot of help here. You're not alone. All you YouTubers, all you guys out there, you have a huge group of people. You have some that like to instigate trouble. But that's just the nature of the beast. It's the negative forces. And even in a beautiful group of people like we have, you still have people being negative. You still have that. And I understand that. Not everything is perfect. But we have a company over there that everyone over there has got good hearts. They all try. None of them is there to try to make a mistake or be mean to anybody or anything else. They're all there just trying to help people. That's all they know. Now, I can barely move my right. It was my dominant side. Also have leg braces now, which cause my ankles to swell. Ooh, I don't like that. I know that when I get worked up, I lose function. Yeah. And then again, going back to your adrenal glands. I refuse to take any drug offered by my doctors. They're all the trial drug. I know, holy crap, man. All the trial drugs scare me too. Also, my fingers are pulling in, and I feel like I have weights hanging off of me all the time and have no balance. Yeah, this is coming here, my friend. All of this is just extreme acidosis and inflammation. And you're going to see all these things come your way, just like you're feeling now. Everything is just... it just takes us back to the fetal position. That's what acidosis does.
It's got questions whenever.
What is it?
I said questions.
Okay, go ahead. You can ask it right now.
No. You gotta look at the book and read this.
Okay, it's a formula.
Whenever you take a break. I got a place in order, so I need time.
Let me see here. All the time that I have no balance. Of course, that's going again back to the cerebellum. I also have lots of dandruff and a rash on my neck. So stop right there. All that milk drinking didn't do you too good. Because look at all, you're saturated like me up in the head area. And that's from the milk drinking. You know, all the mucus forming foods and stuff like that, but milk is real bad. So you got to get that out of there. Dandruff is the first sign to tell you you're in trouble. When you start getting dandruff, you know you're congested all in the head area, your lymph isn't moving well out of the head area, and you're oozing waste out of the head. If you don't clean the dandruff off, what happens to your scalp? It gets red and itchy, doesn't it? And it can create a sore. All this is just acids and fungus, of course, and acids and fungus and acids and fungus. And you've got to drain your head area because this is the CNS. But I would expect that. No one has MS, Lou Gehrig's, or Parkinson's without a cerebral involvement, without a head involvement. Even though the autonomic is the key system down, it still gives you brain lesions and everything else because it's all attached. The whole body works together holistically. So you really want to tear up, get into this and get your head drained. That means work on your GI tract, get your kidneys and things, because you can tell already with your story here that you were down, and that emotional release from your ex-wife took you down even more. That did it. And so, that does it, breaking up with someone. And that's why it's so important that you spend time alone. Each and every one of you spend time by yourself. No doggies, no kitties, no people, no kids, no husband or wife, mom or dad. You get time alone and you start loving yourself and appreciating the fact that you have awareness and consciousness, and appreciating the fact that you're a representative of the Great One here. And that will really go miles to bringing security to yourself. And spend some time doing this until you have a smile on your face and you don't need another person to make you feel good. Because when you need someone else to make you feel whole, you're in trouble. Emotionally and every other way. So you need to spend that time to reconnect to the self again. Creation pulls your attention away from yourself all the time through thoughts, desires, emotions. So in the end of the journey, one wonders who the hell are they anymore, because they've been so on a journey. And we get so understands life by becoming life. So the higher part of you that wants to know something has to take it on, consume it, become it, to understand it. Mind uses thought, astral uses emotions, but you must become the experience. To understand the experience, you have to become the experience. Understanding what I just said will lead you opposite into becoming God conscious. Just reversing that. You become that which you want to experience. That's a higher part of yourself. The mind can't become anything. It has to use thought, comparison, relationships, rationale, all those things to understand something. The emotions must understand it through the emotional side, the love components, the feeling side of that. It's slick how it's all put together. And it's all put together in one big glob. Even though these are different levels of frequencies, different levels of bodies. But you must get whole within yourself, then your adrenal glands will soar up. Let me see here. I cannot dress myself anymore. I'm in a living hell, but my daughter is a big part of to fight for wellness. Good. You fight for wellness. You do 100%. You have to be 100% raw, at least, and get rid of the vegetables. If you want to do vegetables, do the green drinks. Don't eat the vegetables. I want to thank you very much and your staff for taking the time to speak to me. I have experienced nothing but abandonment from people who I loved. This is why. But you must understand here, my friend, that this is vital for you. It's vital for you to make it through this, because this is how you get free. This is how you make it. This is your doorway to the higher level of awareness And the higher level of awareness is an individual awareness, even though everything becomes one. Remember 11:11? Everything is individual but one. And if you can understand what that is, you have it. You have it. It's just a matter of surrendering more and more and more to the Godhead. But you must understand it and become strong, because you're what's important, not the people that abandoned you. You're what's important, and that's why you're going through this. This is for you. All this relationships and stuff is only for you to get stronger. And because that's how you get out of this world. That's how you wake up again. And so on your journey of getting strong, my friend, you're going to wake up here. That's too cool. Important that you understand that and why you're going through those experiences. Because it's all about the self and regaining the awareness of the self again. You don't need all that other. God doesn't need its creation. And at one side it does. How interesting, the dichotomy of it all. I tried to follow Dr. Joel Wallach protocols, which suggested 6 to 12 eggs. Oh my God. Sorry, Wallach, but I love you, man, but I disagree with you adamantly on this. What are you doing giving somebody proteins that's got MS or Lou Gehrig's or something like that? That just sends you back to hellville. Raw or barely cooked a day and lots of EFA plus supplements and probiotics. It did make me feel better, but physically no improvement. Of course not. One thing I don't understand is how fruit can rebuild myelin and the nervous system. Don't you need to consume cholesterol? You know, your body makes cholesterol, man. You need fatty acids, but all food has fatty acids in them. The problem and the question is, are you absorbing your fatty acids, and are they making it even to your liver? See, that's the other thing. Remember our discussion on the absorption of fatty acids is into the villi of the bowel through the lymph capillaries, and then we showed you the duct that goes up to the liver. So if you're interstitially constipated lymphatically, then you're not going to be even absorb your lipids to create your cholesterols, all your sterols. So that's not the issue here. And cholesterol isn't the issue here. This is about cells, not cholesterol. This is about cells and the integrity of that cell. And that integrity of that cell is part of the God state of beingness. But it is just like the rest of us. It takes in physical chemistry and has to deal with physical chemistry. And it's besides that, it's neurotransmitters that rebuild myelin. It's the adrenal glands that are low in your neurotransmitters. You're going to find real low blood pressure, both sides. And you'll see what I'm talking about. You start to see the nerve rings in the body, not when your cholesterols are low, when your neurotransmitters are low. This is a big deal. Neurotransmitters are a big deal to the integrity of the myelin. Believe it or not. It's kind of like a railroad track and trains. If the train quits running on the track deteriorates. Yeah, this Dr. Wallach. He needs to change. I'm familiar. Needs to change his whole thinking here. This is not how you get anybody well. You don't stick them on 6 to 12 eggs. I mean, you're just acidifying your body more and more and more with this and trying to buffer that acidosis with oils. Yeah, you're playing a game here. And what's a probiotics doing? Nothing. I mean, you really, really, really need, this is a total rebuilding process. And your body, we will rebuild the cells. You must take care of the fluid problem first. If you don't take care of your lymph system, you ain't going nowhere. Bottom line to that one. That's your system that's breaking you down, and the adrenals control that system. And its system controls the adrenals and everything else. That's your waste removal in the human body. And that's not happening. Oh, it's oozing out your head. That's your dandruff. That's your lymph system. You don't want it to ooze out your head because that means this whole head's involved. Well, you just told me your cerebellum was involved. One thing I didn't understand is how, and the nervous system didn't, you need to consume cholesterol. I have changed my diet to fruits, berries, and melons. Vital. Thank you very much for taking the time for me. It means a lot. I feel, you're welcome, my friend. I have Heal All T, GI Broom, Fab 4, Brain and Nerve, Upper Circ. Good, good, good. Keep on down that road. You're on the right way, man. Keep on going, Paul. But this is true for each and every one of us. See where my time is. Really, I've had so many meetings this morning. I am all intended to do a nice long video for you today. I just did one yesterday for you. I had a no-show this morning, so I thought I'd do video, but I've had so much stuff going on. I apologize here. I really do. I just, I have a passion to help you get well. And it's just why I was sent here. Just part of my beingness. Christina. Hi, honey. Hi, I've had eczema since I was a baby. Look at that. Didn't we just read this one? I think I read this one, sweetheart, to you yesterday. I'm 25. I've used topical steroids for it. I read this one the other day. Yep. Your answer's on the video before this one. But again, you look at John, 15 years old. He got his eczema almost cleared up, but he's had it since he was a baby. But this is the point. When you see someone like Cynthia here or Christina suffering since she was a baby, we need to stop that. Don't you think? We need to shift the consciousness and get this dimension back on, this planet particularly, back on track, because it needs that. But your skin is your lymph system. Period. End of story. Your skin is your third kidney. And when your kidneys don't filter, what happens to them? They not only break down, but everything on the other side of them does too, because this is a sewer system that reaches all the way to the top of your head and all the way down to your little pinky toe. And you got to get that one down. Coming out of an 8-year fog after experiencing a stroke. Ooh, wow. The meds that I was prescribed over the first 6 years has damaged my liver. Isn't that sad? That's friggin' sad. You know, this is why we have to make these changes, guys. So your squabbles between each other, get rid of them. There's things so much more important out here, and that's these people like this. This girl, 25 years old, that has eczema since she was a baby. Poor thing. You can imagine how it's affected her emotional state. This is a young woman. That's no fun. So that has to be fixed. And you can fix that, dear one, and you get fixed. You get on your adrenal glands and kidneys, and you start detoxing your lymph till your eczema is gone. Period. I would like to get your opinion on what is needed to repair my body naturally. By the grace of Almighty God, I've been able to recover most memory functions and motor skills. Thank God, man. Would love to meet you to discuss my health and my family's health. Well, let's go back, John, to what I just talked about to Paul here on the ALS. I've done a lot of neurological conditions. Most of you realize that by now, and I've been 45 years doing it. And I'll tell you, I've never seen anything build the nervous system except fruits, berries, and melons, period. Never seen vegetables do that. And maybe some minor neuropathies and stuff like that. Okay, a raw food diet could probably help you that way. But not real deep issues like this. And of course, when you have a stroke, you know, you got to rebuild these cells. Well, people don't realize that cells rebuild themselves. This is just a natural process of the body. But when you're acidic, and those tissues are living in an acidic fluid, or the interstitial fluids are backed up to that whole area, wherever it is, livers, brains, wherever, is highly acidic, you don't rebuild very well with that because you're getting the other side. You know, you got duality here. And the other side, of course, is the corrosive side, and that's the acid side. It's just a corrosive side. It's the opposite of the base side. But it is obvious you need that. So, upper circuit brain and nerve is one thing I'm going to be living on. I pull a lot of people out of strokes. Matter of fact, one guy, triple strokes. I told you about that one. Triple strokes. Bam, bam, bam. So they told his wife to go make funeral arrangements. I told his wife to go get a feeding tube and bring him home, and she did. And I had him up counting his ABCs and having fun, at least communicating well, in 3 months. Triple strokes. So all I got to tell you is, you get in there, get on your fruits, berries, and melons, get on your upper circuit brain and nerve. Now, with that said, you want to address why you had the stroke, don't you? So there's several reasons for strokes. So let's go over them for a minute because this is important. I know we have a lot to cover, but these are important. Let's say you had a parathyroid weakness and you consumed a lot of meat, a lot of protein. Well, when you dump meat or protein into your blood, there's a serious problem because your blood is not protein dominant by any stretch of the imagination. So what you've just done is brought your pH of your blood down from 7.4 to who knows what, depending on the nature of the food you're eating. But you're also bringing yourself into a danger zone of death, because as you move your blood pH to the acid side, death is within minutes. So your blood is always stealing electrolytes somewhere, burning its electrolytes within the blood itself to try to deal with this. But it must maintain its pH at the same time, so if it burns its electrolytes, it's going to throw itself in danger like it knows it will, and then death will be imminent. So it needs to steal some. So the main electrolyte, and you see this in blood work, you see this all the time in symptomology, and the main, of course, electrolyte the body can steal out of its own vascular wall, this is before the blood enters anywhere, is calcium. So you start leaching calcium out of your connective tissue. This then creates spider veins, varicose veins, petechia, which is bruising easy, all these sort of things you begin to see, wrinkles, things like that on the skin, connective tissue, prolapsing, herniations, aneurysms. These are all byproducts of the loss of calcium in the body's effort to maintain an equilibrium in chemistry, which is base dominant. So, let's suggest that you had a parathyroid weakness, you lost a lot of calcium, you could have had a vascular collapse or a vascular spasm. All right, that's from that side of it. On the other hand, you could be leaching calcium, creating calcifications, and then occluding or blocking the artery wall from calcifications, therefore creating ischemic changes and strokes, blah, 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 blah. All right? Then it could be, of course, your cholesterols. And cholesterols are your antacids, and of course they build up in your vascular wall where the cell wastes are being produced. And this again thickens the wall and then creates occlusions and platelet agitation and blah, 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 and then a stroke there. So you got really several reasons that you can have a stroke. So when someone has a stroke, I go in and I clean up the whole body, head to toe. I'm going after the acid system, right? So I'm going after the lymphatic system. I don't have to worry about the blood because I'm going to change my diet. And as soon as I change my chemistry and ingestion, my blood's going to go, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I feel so good now. So you have to change your life to a raw food lifestyle. That'll clean up your blood beautifully. But you have a little blowback here lymphatically, but mostly the blood cleans itself into the lymph system by a spleen and kidneys. So then you've got your kidneys to make sure you're filtering. So you've got to go back and fix all these problems that could have caused this stroke. If it's an occlusion, if you've had a CAT scan, you obviously have, then you know which it probably is. Either way, whether it's calcifications or whether it is occlusions of cholesterol or lipids or whatever, you fix all those the same way. You fix them all the same way. And that is, you start to get your kidneys and your adrenal glands back online. You get your adrenal glands producing more neurotransmitters and your steroids. You get your kidneys filtering again. You get your skin sweating. Now you are hydrating your body interstitially as you're beginning to consume the fruits and the berries and the melons. Vegetables as well, but not near as fast as you're hydrating fruits, berries, and melons. So now you start hydrating a very dehydrated state of condition within the body, whether it's the brain or all through you, doesn't matter. As you hydrate interstitially, the fluid becomes more viable, more movable. And so now you start taking a stagnation of the lymph system. Now you're starting to get that moving. You start loosening up the lymph nodes. You start getting the kidneys to filter. So now the lymph nodes are opening up. And so now the sewage can move from the cells through the lymph nodes, be dealt with, and then taken to the kidneys or the skin. And all this process is vital to get well and to fix anything that you can ask me about. That's your doorway. Always. To every single thing there is. When it's a neurological, upper circuit brain and nerve in particular, and the adrenal glands always. So I would always be on those, but I would go after why I had this stroke. And that is, again, getting that lymph system dealt with, getting your GI tract, getting your absorption, getting all this. You can't, man has to get out of this treatment-based consciousness because it is not taking his car into Wellville. And then many times, it's not only taking his car to Hellville, but he's being buried doing it. The death rate allopathically is astronomical. The death rate. People are so dumbed down and so lied to that they're immune to that, I guess. But the death rate in a health modality is unacceptable. When you tout yourself as a health modality, but you have a high percentage of death rate, is there something wrong with this picture? FDA, anybody else, something wrong with this picture? Or is there something wrong with you guys? And that something wrong with you guys is you're locked. And you're being lied to, and you're closed. You have no idea what you're getting yourselves into by blocking the children of God. You have no idea the karma. It's not good. And we just have to change things on this planet for everybody. Those working at the FDA, they all have kids. They all are aligned for cancers and everybody else. They need us just as bad as they need anything else, and they're trying to destroy the very thing they need as well. You can't do that. Everybody needs to wake up on this planet. It's going fast. But get yourself taken care of here, my dear man. You will get yourself out of that. It's good. You got your functions mostly back, but no. You don't know whether you're going to stroke again. You don't want to play any of those medical games. You want to get up there, clean house. Open up these vascular pathways. Open up these lymphatic pathways. Open up these neural pathways. And the only way you're going to do this is fruits, berries, and melons. You're talking about the highest energetic food on the planet and one of the best chemically balanced foods on the planet for the humans. There's no other food this nutritious. I mean, your green drinks are nutritious. Wrong species. I'm going to cut this off a little bit because I have to go. There's some ordering to do. Oh, here's some blood work. Ooh, someone sent me some blood work. Ooh. Oh, a little thing about blood work. Let's take a look at this one maybe here. This is Chris. Please see attached files for my email and blood test results, alternatively seen below. Dear Dr. Morse, I am a huge fan of your work. Oh, thank you, man. I believe you can help me. I give my hope and strength. I have been given up solely because of your videos. I'm a 27-year-old male. 27? My friend, what's going on here from Sydney? Man, what's going on, my friend? And I currently suffer from the following issues, starting in chronological order. Oh, jeez. I suffer from mild acne as a teenager, 14 years old. So you know immediately, of course, that was your lymph system was down. So when your lymph system's down, what two organs you can bet on are down? Well, 3 or more. Kidneys, adrenals, the skin is involved, so probably your thyroid, and of course the skin itself. So there's 3 areas you can think about. Oh no, here's the one on Accutane again, another Accutane. By my local dermatologist, at approximately 4 to 5 months dosage, I noticed that my skin was drying out quickly and began to suffer from what I believe to be dandruff. My scalp became increasingly itchy and dry every day from the age of 16 years onward. And just what we're talking about with the individual before. When you start to see dandruff, you've got a serious problem in not moving lymph in the head area. And that's an area you don't want to have that problem in. And remember, we just found a new lymphatic system up there. So there's 2 major lymph systems in your brain that try to deal with lymph moving. But they still have to use the eliminative organs to do it. What about that one? You ruin your eliminative organs, you're in trouble. You ruin your kidneys. And all of you that like high protein, you're ruining your kidneys. That's a fact that you can't deny. It's pure fact. When I turned 17 years old, I developed a small, 1/2 inch in diameter white patch on the left side of my face, just next to my ear. I was then told this was vitiligo by a dermatologist. Well, that would kind of make sense, you know, because you got all this dandruff up here. Well, what else is up in here? The pituitary. And the pituitary gland controls skin pigmentation, right? I was then told that this was vitiligo by a dermatologist. I didn't believe it, as I had near perfect skin growing up because the mild acne, which I now know was caused by poor diet, oily foods. I then began to suffer from coldness and had very poor blood circulation, cold hands. That is thyroid, my man. Just what we're talking about. From the age of 20 years onwards, that's thyroid. That's not poor circulation, that's thyroid. Which would take that when you see skin problems. You can go right to the thyroid gland. See how you can trace everything out? Pretty cool stuff, right? Let me see here. I then began to suffer from cholestasis. I read that one. I began suffering from redness around my T-zone in my early 20s, and at this stage I ate an average poor U.S. Australian diet, including hamburgers, milk, and protein, as my goal was to gain muscle as I remained skinny as I aged, even though I trained very hard 4 times a week. So stop right there. You know immediately you're malabsorbed. That's a perfect indication of malabsorption right there. Well, when you think about it, your lymph is all backed up in the head, and to get up to the head area, GI tract. So your GI tract's backed up. You can see that one right off as well here. I completed university in 2009 and began my professional career as an engineer in 2010. I continued my poor diet during this time until 2011, when I noticed that my hair was thinning at a rapid rate. See what I'm talking about? Yeah, yuck. But there, the clue was the dandruff. No one was aware enough to tell you that, but that's what was going on. It's just a matter of time where hair loss and balding was going to follow that. And then, of course, didn't I drive a car here? I mean, I'm just saying, be really careful. You guys that are having these problems, you got to worry about dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, even in the 20s, 30s, and 40s. I'm telling you, it's scary out there. I completed, let me see here. I also began to suffer from chronic fatigue. Well, what's going down? Adrenals. And of course, you're going to have a lot of helper bees. When I was 24 years old and I suffered from it for approximately 4 months straight, I believe this may have been triggered due to a traumatic event in my life. Well, remember, traumatic events do take the adrenals down. If they're already weak and you don't, and you can't get your detachment, and understand that that experience was for you and it makes you stronger and you're carrying that experience, you keep your adrenals down. And that's what I'm saying. Some of you might have these experiences deep in your past that you have no realization that your adrenals are being held down from this. That's why detox is key in opening up some of the deep, deep, dark secrets that you might have in your beingness, in your other bodies. And so by opening your doors, you're opening and releasing and letting go out of your beingness things that you don't want anymore in it. And acids are one of them you want to get out of your human body. You can watch the story. If you watch this young man's story, you'll see how with each year he gets more toxic, more acidic, losing his kidneys and adrenals more and more and more. Then the events come, and it's just life coming down on you. That's where you need to grab it, turn it around. You got all your tools here. I'm giving you all the tools. And you turn it around and you say, life, you're not going to get me down. I'm the controller of my world and destiny, not you. All right? In his life, end of 11, with my mind and body was put under immense stress for a prolonged 1 week straight. Stress continued for 6 months. My hair continued to shed, losing only a few hairs a day, up to 400 hairs a day. Holy crap! In 2012, I attended a concert that lasted 10 hours. Whoa! I had no water and only a sesame honey snack. My body dehydrated, and the next week I noticed that my redness around my T-zone developed into a skin condition, either psoriasis or doesn't matter. It's all acidosis that you're not getting out, my friend. Doesn't matter where the zone. The dermatologist knows that it was dermatitis. Who gives a shit what they label that with? You notice it's all acidosis. Weeks later, I noticed a skin condition right in the middle of my chest. Woohoo! Your lymph system is really getting backed up, my friend. Wow, this is a long letter. I'm sorry about that, guys, but hang on. I was losing approximately 400 hairs a day. I decided to adjust my diet to a fruit-based diet, good men and nuts in early 12 to assist with my hair loss and skin condition. That is good, losing nuts. I noticed that my lymph nodes at the back of my neck were just saying, your lymph system's been down for years now, man. You got to get this one. This isn't good. I guess it's getting worse as I'm reading, right? But you see that journey that this young man's going down? He's trying to interface now in the 12 to find some things that will help him to deal with this. But you see that his lymph system is going down year after year after year after year because he doesn't know that his very lifestyle is feeding the down. And that's what he's learning. And those lymph nodes in the back of my neck were swollen from time to time, and my scalp would burn. What does acids do? Burn. Another reason I believe my hair was falling out, well, yeah. Come on, man. You're getting chewed on your own acids from your cells, man. You're just getting chewed on acids. That's what it is. I then spoke to the dermatologist who said I was just suffering from MPB. I did not, oh man, here we go, medical thinkers. I did not believe this because my hair was extremely thick and a healthy pre-Accutane plus the age factor. Well, you know, Accutane, bad drug, remember that? I blamed the drug and he dismissed it as if it was nonsense. Well, he can dismiss it now. Clearly did not want to be sued, absolutely. Accutane is a very suable offense now. There's an attorney right on TV asking for people. I believe I had approximately 120,000 hairs on my head when I was 24 years old. And today, at 27 years old, I believe I may only have 90,000 hairs left. You got to get them back, son, for what this means to you. And remember the one I read before you, stroke? You're doing everything. You're building your whole world up inside for strokes, heart attacks, all these things like this, dementia, Alzheimer's. This is all walking your way, man. And you got to pull your car back just like you're doing. Get yourself on the raw. Start detoxifying and rebuilding. All right. Let me see here. Now, I also suffered inflammation in my lower body, including you have inflammation all through you, man. Head to toe. This is acidosis. Size of the right, including a reduction in the size of the right testicle, and had pain for over 1 year. I termed it in chronic testicle pain. Be careful, because testicular cancer is all over the friggin' place. And of course, your prostate's up for grabs, everything. You see what I'm saying, man? You got to get into your kidneys, your adrenal glands, get into your lymph system. Get these doors open. All right? I have lost the sag in my testicles, and I have lost my libido and began to suffer from depression. Yeah, your body's going down. You're losing your thyroid, parathyroid, that's your depression. So they're getting worse on you because your system that's keeping all the cells clean so they can eat good and poop good. No. So all the sewage backing up nullifies almost the good health almost, you know. So it's just, you got to get yourself going. That's all I got to say. You're going to lose the sag in a lot of things if you ain't careful and get bigger sags and other things. In April 13th, after 3 months on a fruit-based diet, I suffered from extreme abdominal pain, which then turned out to be diagnosed with IBS. I continued with my fruit-based diet, experimenting and adjusting, and now have almost cured my IBS. Yes, but you have to understand IBS, interstitial lymphatic constipation. It's all through you. You got to get this cleaned all through you. Real quickie, take a picture of your eyes and take a look at them, bro. Then you'll know immediately what you're up against. But I can tell you, you're up against interstitial lymphatic constipation, head to toe. But to keep with that fruit diet. Get on some herbs. Take care of yourself. These herbs are great. Clean this IBS, get your kidney filtered, get your thing, get all this cleaned out of here. My action. I decided to change my lifestyle at the end of 2012, and I have been a vegan for 18 months now. I have noticed slight changes, and the skin's getting better, I've also noticed that I have a lack of vitamin D, and that when I started on a tan correctly, that my skin, but your body produces vitamin D. You know why vitamin D? Think about this. Oils protect you from acids. So as you get into the sun, your body produces an oil to protect the skin from the sun. Think of it in a different way. And then I started to tan correctly, and my skin improved. My question for Dr. Morse: do you think I will be able to cure all my issues? You don't have a lot of issues. They're head to toe. It's a simple thing. You get in there, you get your kidneys filtering, your adrenals up, you get moving like we've been talking about in all these videos, man. You clean yourself right up. You're going to take a little time. I don't know how bad your lymph system's backed up, but you see how you're giving us a chronological move down Hellville Road. Because each year on your bad diets, you're seeing yourself go down, 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 down. You got to turn your car around. You're going down the wrong road. And you're doing that when you move yourself to fruits. Now, get yourself some herbs. You don't need that many. Get the right ones to fix in and work on your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your GI tract. You know, there's a lot. You can do so much with herbs and foods to get yourself well. It's so much fun. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. All right. Regeneration of myself to get back to how I used to be before. I think you ought to get way back how you used to be. I think you need to go back and regenerate your genetics and fix yourself better than you ever were. All right? Forget going back to the way you were. Go back to higher selves. Get to an area of beauty and integrity and energy and all these things that you deserve. But you have to work yourself back into that. You know, no one was there to help you. And that's why, again, you all are so important. Because this world is big. This planet is big. And someone in Australia needs to have a buddy take out their hand, like Shane, and say, here, guess what? Here's a book on raw foods. Or why don't you just go on a fruit diet, take some herbs and clean your body out. Those little bitty things that you offer people in help can change a whole person's world to the positive, which blows back to you and helps your world to be positive. Will my hair eventually grow back? Yeah, absolutely. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve, and keep it that way. Keep that going until the hair is all grown back. Will my libido come back? Absolutely. But you want to get your kidneys fixed, pull the inflammation out of your prostate, and and the testicles, because that sort of thing that's going on with your testicles could lead to testicular cancer. Will my skin condition improve and improve? You want it done. You want good health, man. You don't want to get a little better. You want health and vitality. Don't stop until you get it. I do what I think. You're not a difficult case here. You fix yourself up easy, my friend. Let me look at your blood work real quick. Real quick here. Not worried about the vitamin D. All right. Oh, you got all three. Good. Well, your whites, your immune cells, everything looks pretty good as far as I'm concerned. The platelets, I don't know. You know, your platelets are good, but I've seen them drop down to 177,000 right here. You're below 200,000 in the platelets. Where's the whites? Here's the WBCs. You're pretty good with the WBCs. That's the white blood cells. Your lymphocytes, neutrophils, basophils all look pretty good. Let's take a look at here. Sodium, potassium, chloride, bicarbonate. Thank God this lab knows how to write bicarbonate. Good job. 28, that's pretty good. Ureas are 2, that's perfect. Even though this lab tagged it as low, perfect, good job. That shows you're on raw. Here's your creatinine is 75. That seems to be somewhat low, so that is excellent. I like what I'm seeing here. ALT, AST, excellent. Liver enzymes are excellent. Alkaline phosphatase is excellent. That would be your liver, then bones or kidneys. That looks good there. Your proteins need to be down where they should be. Calciums are everything is within normal ranges that way. Yeah, TSH 1.2. All right, TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone. You might want to look and see if you do have any pituitary. Get your picture of your eyes, son, and look and make sure you don't have a little bit of a pituitary problem sitting down on the thyroid gland, because it is, even though this lab it's above the low range, it's still low. 1.4 is low TSH in my opinion. I'm not worried about the B12s or anything like that. That's adrenals. Cholesterols, I'm not worried about any of those. That's just, that's going to all rectify itself as you move your lymph system. Remember, lipids are involved in acidosis. And what is this? Serum fasting, glucose. All right, 4.6, 5.0. All right. All right, my friend. You're not a difficult case at all. You want to get yourself back to Wellville, and you're driving your car down the wrong road. You get yourself on a good fruit diet, stay there, clean your body out, get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals up, clean your body out, and you'll eliminate all that. Upper circuit, brain, and nerve, I'd stay on for a while. Until that hair's all grown back, and that, I would stay on it. I love you guys. I got to run. I know this is not a long video, but good. you'll be able to go through it quicker. But I got so much more time. It's just we had a no-show, and I wanted to grab another video for you, but then I had all this going on this morning, so I apologize. But love you guys, and treat yourselves good. You deserve it. And don't let the negative forces grab you. You're the controller of your own world. Grab that power of strength and knowingness. The only way you're going to do that is get out of your minds. Sounds crazy, but your mind is always your friend. You want it to make it your servant. Whatever you want it to do, it'll do. But you don't want to follow it and chase it. Get a hold of yourself. Spend time alone and appreciate that aloneness. Look at yourself. Observe yourself. Appreciate yourself. Because there's nowhere you're going. You might drop a body or two, but you ain't going nowhere. So you might as well get a hold of it now. That way you'll have a fun time on planet Earth, and it won't bother you because you don't care if you're here or not. You're living in the moment. And that is the only way to live and meet this future on this planet is the moment. Those that can't, those that are lost in the mind, not going to be happy times for them. Not going to be happy times. But I love you guys. You have fun today and enjoy yourself. And fruits, berries, and melons. Ripe and organic if you can. If you can. And Marco, love you, son.